We'll put you up in a 3, 4, 5-star hotel, give you bridge cards, give you vouchers to go get clothes. We'll give you some transportation, get your kids in school. Oh, and now we're going to pay you for some law. How are their wages lost? That's what I don't understand. How are their wages lost? If Mexican migrant workers got lost wages, what do American freedmen have? How much money have we been cheated out of? Labyrinthine leadership. This is where it comes from. And nobody's catching it. Nobody's really talking about it because they just let it go. And this is why we need to be repaired. This is why we need to be repaired. Stop talking that closing a racial wealth gap between us and white folks. White folks is in third place. What I need the bronze medal for? I'm going for the Asians. I'm going for the Hindus. I'm going for the Arabs, the Chaldeans. I'm going for the people that's really getting the bags out here. White folks is in third place, mostly fourth place. In a lot of areas, we actually living beneath Latinos because they done elevated them on a socioeconomical level so high, they are living better than American freedmen, even on an illegal state. A lot of people don't understand that. We're fighting for our survival. We should be fighting, period, but we're fighting for our survival. If they can bring illegal people in here and bring them and elevate them over you, what are you doing? Y'all just gonna keep dancing? Y'all just gonna keep cutting the fool? Yeah, fighting. You know, I mean, we're going to keep having situations like this because we can't get it together. And this is just one city in one state, but you got to believe that there's other people in NAACPs across the country who feel the same way. We need some housing. We need some education. We need some better health care. We need some better health care. Help us with some longevity. We need what the fuck is the point of being around here for a long time and being broke? If we're going to at least be here, at least have us be profitable. What's the point of lasting broke? None of those things had anything to do with elevation for American freedmen. We need some affordable housing. We likes the rents. We likes the rents. He didn't say nothing about home ownership. We need more affordable housing, more public housing. Huh? Education, we need remedial courses. Huh? That's what we at? We getting remedial courses for reparations. Wow. That's where it's coming, man. They're about to be the black. Look, I'm trying to tell you, Latinos, they the new niggas. People don't understand that. They taking over the auto plants. They taking over the manufacturing plants. All these jobs that we held back in the day, they are now giving to it not only legals, but illegals. We are not getting these factory jobs anymore because they know they can pay them less. A Latino will come into a plant job and he'll check off all the boxes. He ain't worried about no health insurance. He just trying to get that badge. He's trying to get access so he can come work. And the front of the house, you already know who's going to be in the front of the house. That's for the corporate image. The front of the house is always going to be Dwight's. If you walk in and you don't see Dwight, must be a black-owned company or another ethnicity owns it. But for the most part, the corporate structure is still going to be put Dwight's up front. That's what we want to have people see. First levels of management, supervisory, this, that, and the other. You might see one of us if there's enough of us in there, but for the most part, we're not even getting the supervisory positions anymore. But when you go back to where it's all put together, because the manufacturing part of any company is where the money's made. They can do all the commercials, all the marketing, all the promotions that they want to with McDonald's. But if ain't nobody flipping burgers and shaking fries, ain't no McDonald's. And who doing that work? Who doing that work? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we've got to be at least up on it to know we are fighting for our own survival. We are trying to prevent our own erasure. And how we do that is to stop electing, selecting, appointing labyrinthine leaders. If they're not speaking clearly to us, then they're not speaking to us. If you're not telling me what I need to hear, I don't need you telling me what I want to hear. Because what I want to hear is I want to hear something good. That's for the most part. Most people just want to hear something good. Nah, not me. I don't want to hear something good. I really don't. Nope. Don't need to hear something good. I don't need to hear nothing good because that just plays in my mind. In my mind. What I need to hear is something right. It's got to be right with me. It's got to sit right with me. It's got to sit right with my family. It's got to be beneficial for me. It's got to be beneficial for my family. I just ain't out here by myself. I just ain't out here by myself. So it's got to be right for everybody. Man, we had a lot of data. So crazy. You know? And this is something, this ties into when we talk about entrepreneurship. This ties into entrepreneurship. I'm finding some of these old drags. Listen to this.
Don't go into a Black neighborhood without seeing Asian businesses or restaurants or liquor store owners, and vice versa. You don't go into Asian neighborhoods without seeing Black customers and Black clients that keep our businesses alive. And
listen to it again.
You don't go into a Black neighborhood without seeing Asian businesses or restaurants or liquor store owners, and vice versa. You don't go into Asian neighborhoods without seeing Black customers and Black clients that keep our businesses alive. And
you don't go into Black neighborhoods without seeing Asian businesses, Chinese food restaurants, beauty supply stores, gas stations, liquor stores, dollar stores in Black neighborhoods, Asians. And then it says you don't go into Asian neighborhoods without seeing, she didn't say Black businesses because there ain't no Black businesses in Asian neighborhoods. She said Black customers. So Black neighborhoods got Asian businesses, but Asian neighborhoods only got Black customers. How come there ain't no Black businesses in the Asian neighborhoods? Labyrinthine leadership. Labyrinthine leadership. There you go. Arabic neighborhoods, Arabic businesses. Polish neighborhoods, Polish businesses. Black neighborhoods, Arab businesses, Asian businesses, Indian businesses, white businesses, of course. Asian, you know, I mean, come on now. And that all comes from labyrinthine leadership. You got all these Negro preachers in these Black neighborhoods that they have churches in. They don't never fight for nobody to have a business in that neighborhood except them. You ever seen churches in mass fighting for properties to have Black-owned businesses in their neighborhoods where their churches stand? How come we don't have that? How come we don't have that? How come we don't have, we got 20 Black churches on the south side of Ypsi. I think it used to be like 25. Some of them done closed up. You know, some of them done gone online. We got online pastoral situations going on now. They don't even open up their churches no more. They just do online services, cash app to preaching. But 20 Black churches on the south side of Ypsi, and I ain't seen 20 Black preachers walk in the streets securing buildings so we can get Black-owned businesses, and they got the bread, but they ain't spreading that bread amongst the community. They spreading that bread amongst their family. That's what they do. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. getting grants to start businesses in our neighborhoods, but we don't get grants to start businesses in our neighborhoods. They'll get a grant to start a business in a neighborhood that they don't live in, but they know is profitable. Oh, don't get me talking about none of these jack legs. You got your benevolent offering, your Gideon offering, your building fund, you know, your Sunday school tithe, your afternoon service tithe, da-da-dee-da-da-da. Most churches trying to run a C-note up out you every week. And everybody ain't got that. I get it. But I know plenty of people that are putting it in there and putting more in there. Putting more. If you put $100 in a church coffer on a Sunday, you better have a full tank and all your bills better be paid. You put 3 figures in a coffer, all your bills better be paid. You better be on a full tank. Period. You better not need for nothing. Your kids better not need for nothing. Because if you don't, you a dumbass. You dumb. You stupid. And you slow. And then people like Amos Brown are running your NAACP too. But the reason I don't rock with the NAACP, back in the day, I was harassed by some police officers. We had a serial rapist going on around here. And the serial rapist that literally was like damn near a foot taller than me. So I shouldn't even been in like and play. But I was kind of harassed and semi roughed up. Not really, because I was with somebody, but you know, they treated us like we were suspects. And I was told to go to the local NAACP, buy some boulets. I ain't gonna say who they were, but I was told to go to the NAACP. And NAACP at that time was ran by Fred McQuiston. Fred McQuiston was running the NAACP. God rest his soul, he's passed on now. And I found him, met up with him, and he told me to go to police. Long and the short of it, he literally told me to go to the police. I was like, well, Mr. McQuiston, they told me to come to you and you would help me, you know, kind of go through the process. He's like, no, you need to go to the police. And I'm like, but the police are the ones who did this. And it just made me understand that where we are in this world, we can't even count on our own leaders, our labyrinthine leaders to lead us. I didn't know he was a labyrinthine leader back then. And a lot of people will say probably a lot of good things about Brother McQuiston. And the fact that he failed me meant I don't care who you succeeded with, you failed me. He might have did some good things around here. He was the president for a while, I guess, but I don't care. He slighted me. He didn't do right by me. And since you didn't do right by me, I'm out. I'm out on a whole thing. And I just looked at the NAACP sideways from that point on. And I didn't do anything that was affiliated with the NAACP until my daughter was NAACP all academic student. And there was a dinner that they served at one of the hotels up here, you know. And that was just to get to $50 a plate. $50 a plate for a dry ass steak, some clumpy cold potatoes, and about 5 strings of green beans, and you know, some watered down iced tea. But it was what it was. It was what it was. So I was thankful that she was blessed to be in a position. And I never said anything negative about that, but the fact that the NAACP has just been all the way off the charts for me, I'm not there. Oh, there it is. I ain't never thought of that one. I likes that one. The NAACPQIA plus. Yes. You just basically combine the NAACP and the LGBTQIAP. Just put it all together because that's who they for. And you could actually put OC on the end of it. It could be the NAACPQIAOC because they the of colors. They the of colors. They like the people of colors. They just don't really like the colored people. They like the people of color. So, yeah. But we've got to do something about labyrinthine leaders on the political end, on the spiritual end. And I haven't talked as much about educators. If you are a Black teacher, if you are a Black administrator, if you are a Black principal, and we're going to be talking more about the Black principal over at Pathways, Shanu Maku. We're going to be talking about his Black staff that he has in place. We're going to be talking about them later this week. We're going to be breaking some things down about when you're getting into a position, and we'll bring back up labyrinthine leadership. When you get into these positions and you don't do right by the Black kids, let me go in and come up because I need you to see my seriousness of my ugly ass face. When you don't do right by our children, I mean, don't do right by our kids, we ain't got nothing for you, dog. As Black parents, we should be looking at you one way. Do right by my kids or we getting your ass up out the paint. How about that? How about that? Because we be deaf on another teacher that do something. I see it a lot now. We want to jump all over people or be passive enough to not say nothing because you don't think nothing's going to get done. It's either or. You're going to go 10 toes in or you don't say nothing. But on the Black teachers, we just let them slide. You know who Black teachers are turning into in a lot of areas around here, around the city, around the county, around the state, around the country? You know who Black teachers are turning into? They turning into that uncle. They turning into that auntie that y'all know be messing with these kids, but you don't never say nothing about it. Talk to me. They turning into that uncle and that auntie that be messing with the kids. But y'all put them in place. Y'all let them do what they do. And then you don't even go after them when you should. I don't care that they got elevated. I don't care that they did good. I don't care that they made good. If they're not doing right by these kids, get their ass up out the paint. Period. Get them up out the paint. If you want change, you make change. You make change. Don't wait for somebody else to make. They're not going to make change to benefit you. They're going to make change to make things easier for them. This is why I'm starting to connect myself with different situations and why it's easily to keep disconnected from other situations. It's easily for me because I'm not going to deal with no clown shit. All these little organizations and groups and whatnot, they're popping up all over the place saying they doing stuff. I've been telling y'all they ain't doing nothing, and it's been showing. They not doing, now they even up here lying. Oh, we over here, we over there. We no days off, no afternoons off, no nights off. You're not even doing nothing. Why put that out there that you're doing so much if you're not doing nothing? Just don't do nothing. Stay in the dark. And if you got to get, stay with your get. Stay with your get. Somebody tear you off $1 million, you don't do nothing, just stay where you are. Just don't talk up that you doing something when you're not doing nothing. You just shedding light on you. I gotta give ism to old niggas now. I gotta talk shit to old niggas. If you're not gonna do nothing for the kids, if you're not gonna do nothing for the community, just stay the fuck quiet. No, y'all want to be out here high signing like you're doing something now. Now you in the public eye again on a negative end. I said, I'm not going to go after anybody that hustled somebody up out of $1 million because the hustle was corruptive. I'm more on the corruptive end of it. I don't care. I don't care that they got $1 million from the county. They felons. That's what felons do. Felons go, they hustle people. How I became a felon? I hustled something. I didn't hustle people, but I hustled something, and it was a bad hustle. It was an ignorant hustle. I had money in my pocket. I didn't even need the money that I hustled. But when you go hustle something, and then you want to say, I'm doing something else, but you're really not doing something, what are you saying? You dumb, you stupid, you slow. Keep your ass out the paint, dog. If you got your bag, go sit down and shut up. Count your chips. We know you're going to do minimal. Try to make it look like it's maximal. but really be meaningless. So stand back and stand by. But as far as these educators go, they get put in place for a reason. They're supposed to help change our children's lives, not for the negative either. And we got too many in place that are negatively affecting our children's lives. You know, Brother Che over here in Huron, I talked to him after, like, it was one of the district games. I think it was it was a district game. Shook his hand, dapped him up, gave him a hug, you know, and I can see the edge in him, you know. And the one thing he did tell me, he said, I'm not a politician. That's a beautiful thing. So that's a beautiful thing. I love that. Don't be a politician. If you are an educator, you cannot be a politician. Appreciate you putting that in the algorithm, Brother Mike. Appreciate that. I like that. I like that. Nothing changes until you do. And we've got to do it as a collective. We've got to do it as a collective. Because trying to do things on our own, they don't work. They not only don't work, but they're divisive from the get. And they're going to be divisive in the end. And we're not going to do anything on this soil with longevity by ourselves. We need one another. Other factions of people may not need one another because they work on an individual type basis anyway. But when they get things on a collective level, you don't see them turn around and say, oh, that's not for us. When they do Asian bills, they don't specify which Asian, Chinese, Japanese, Taiwanese, you know, they don't do that. They say Asians. So all Asians qualify. When they say Latino bills, you've got your Mexicans, you got your Puerto Ricans, you got your Dominicans, you got your El Salvadorans, you got your Guatemalans. They all get that. But we can't get collected enough to understand, as Black Americans, as American freedmen, as descendants of slaves, it's all the same thing. We got to fight about that. That the whole FBA thing. Look, I say all that without saying all that. That's why I said I don't have to classify myself as an FBA, because I can't classify myself as an FBA. But I can classify myself as an American freedman because that's what I am legally classified as. To be concise, will I say black man? Absolutely. Somebody came to me and said, you know what? We're going to give African Americans reparations. We're finally going to come through on this legislation. You think I'm going to stand back and say, oh, no, I want you to give it to American freedmen? I just need to make sure they're not giving it to anybody that is not a native Black American. That's my cause in this. Don't give my shit to nobody else, just like you don't give nobody else's shit to me. That's where we need it. That's where we want it.